Jacob, welcome to the call. Your car died in the middle of Brooklyn and is now resting in peace. Is that correct?
Yes, it will be missed. He was a patriot American, and he died when he was 12 years old, so it's a tragedy. If he would have been developed and lived a little more longer, he would have enjoyed to see world peace, but unfortunately he didn't die so happily. Well, it's like a guy getting a heart attack and telling the guy, oh, well, your heart isn't working anymore, we got to replace it with another heart. Do you want to take that risk? And I said no.
Tell me a little bit about where you come from, how you found your way to the United States, why you're even here.
Well, I was born 29 years ago, actually, in the city of London in the United Kingdom, until at the age of 16 my father sent me to yeshiva in Israel, where I learned for 4 years in the city of Jerusalem, first in Givat Shaul, that's at the center of West Jerusalem, and later on I moved on to Bet Yisrael, that's more to the east of Jerusalem, minutes away from the Western Wall, the Kotel. In 2001, I arrived here in the United States. I have a lot of friends here. I have 2 brothers living here. The United States was, at that point, the dream of everybody to immigrate to, as it offered a unique opportunity for individuals to start its own business, entrepreneurs, start small business, even expand in something big, as we see some successfully do so. So the United States became the center of the world to me, living here, working here, and advocating for the purpose that this country was founded for, and that's for freedom and liberty. And I would say that being away from home is a self-educational experience, and that also gives a significant way how to develop in life.
So, you're an Orthodox Jew. Could you define your experience as an Orthodox Jew? Because Americans, even Jewish Americans, have a vague sense of what it means to be Orthodox. They compare it to other divisions of Judaism. But within the Orthodox movement, there are subtleties, nuances. Could you explain a little bit about that and where you fall in the spectrum of Orthodox Judaism?
Within the Orthodox community, I define myself as an independent thinker. My personal thinking and my personal daily life experience is different than some. I wouldn't define myself as a more secular, because that's not what I am. You can find New York Jews, Brooklyn Jews, or even Orthodox Jews in the world, I would say, a community that has its own boundaries, its own definition, and people know each other. We marry only within the community. The children are brought up different than the regular American children. They're not exposed to radio, television, or online activity. I was kind of a rebel. When my father didn't look, I used to sneak into the office and go online. But overall, the Orthodox community is a closed community. We live in neighborhoods, a majority of them are Orthodox. We meet each other daily or weekly or at Jewish events such as Saturday night events or weddings and so on.
Which leads to the next question. Yes, you're an Orthodox Jew, but you've kind of established yourself in the regular community, both in terms of your work and your outreach to others regarding Israel, that makes you different. You set your own pace, you do your own thing, and you have associations with many outside of the immediate and insulated Orthodox community. Would you say that is true?
That's correct. and that's because I define myself first as an individual that fights a certain cause. And to fight that certain cause, you ought to make coalitions and communications with different sort of people, and therefore the only way to reach out to a bigger, a broader audience and to make this specific connections, you need to understand different cultures, you need to get to know different people, and when you get to know different people, you get to know their lifestyle, you get to speak to them, they get to speak to you. It's a total different situation than when you're at home and you're just surrounded with your family or your friends within the community.
Does that make you unusual within the community? Is it a rare thing that you're doing?
I would say my exposure is something that's rare in this community. I am not afraid of exposing myself as long as I fight for a certain cause. And if I would start to say where this all started from, I would go back 16 years ago. I bought myself a shortwave radio in which I had the ability to listen to Kol Yisrael Reshet from Israel through different channels throughout the day. And it looks funny as of now, but I had like a small tape recorder that I used to record debates going on in the Knesset or important speeches made by the Prime Minister or the President. I started staying up late at night to listen to the prime time speeches going on in the election of 2000 when Bush and Al Gore gave their convention speeches and the debates. After coming to America, I started on a regular basis being active online. And I want to just note what Israel's Minister of Public Diplomacy, Yuli Edelstein, told a delegation group coming to New York last month on behalf of Israel. And he gave them a few tips on how best represent Israel. And I quote, "I want to take this opportunity to thank you all for being Israel's best goodwill ambassadors. Let's talk about history, about our rights to this land. Let's not be afraid of repeating ourselves on these subjects because many people are absolutely ignorant and don't know. Let's start with the basics." And he ended and said, "We have the best product to market, the state of Israel, a democracy, a pluralistic state, a very diverse society, a society that is always open to newcomers, and if you always keep that in mind, it will make our tough job a little bit easier. We are all ambassadors of Israel here in the United States to educate Christians and even Jews on crucial matters that affect both communities.